Here's what's on your feed today. Authorities are now looking into possible negligence following the death of two Ateneo basketball players. The Justice Department receives a request to issue an immigration lookout order against Ateneo coach Tab Baldwin. The death toll from the magnitude 7.8 earthquake in Mindanao climbs to 47 with over 30 people still missing. Meralco customers will pay more for electricity this June as higher generation charges push power rates up. And a 3-year-old girl in London survives a heart-stopping fall from a window ledge after she was caught just in time. Good afternoon, I'm Denise Tan. The Department of Interior and Local Government is now looking into possible violations of the anti-hazing law in the deaths of Ateneo student athletes Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili. Authorities are also looking into possible negligence. Mobile Journal Jazz Paredes reports.
Asphyxia by drowning. This is what the post-mortem examination showed to be the cause of death of one of the Ateneo men's basketball team members, Rene Baterbonia. Baterbonia, a native of Talacogon, Agusan del Sur, and Divine Adili, died during a team-building activity of the Ateneo de Manila University men's basketball team in Dipakulaw, Aurora on Monday. In an online interview on Wednesday with Aurora Police Chief Colonel Percival Pineda, he revealed that they have retrieved sworn affidavits from the lifeguard, resort owner, and MDRMO. In their affidavits, the lifeguard and MDRMO reportedly did not see any weights attached to the players' bodies, contrary to growing speculation online.
Sabi naman po ng tiga MDRMO ng Dipakulaw ay wala kaming nakita pampabigat sa kanyang pakatkamay at walang anumang pasak sa kanyang katawan nang siya ay aming titigan ng pulang lunas. Ito po sila po yung MDRMO, sila po yung nagbigay ng first aid kay Baterbonia. So yun po yung nakuha nating affidavit ng ating mga witnesses.
Meanwhile, Pineda said that a statement from the resort management said that upon the arrival of the basketball team, they advised them that it was only safe to conduct their activity in front of the resort, where their lifeguard was also stationed. However, their warning was later disregarded as the team proceeded to conduct their activity 300 meters away from the resort premises.
Nang dating po nila, nag-usap po sila na hindi yung kondisyon ng dagat natin dito sa tapat ng resort ay safe dyan, mababa po dyan. Alam natin ang sitwasyon ng dagat dyan. Pero po, gaya nga po na sinabi ko kanina, yung pong team ay gusto ng magkaya po silang humigit po sila na huwag silang pakialam sa gawin nilang activity. Kaya po, nung lumayo po sila po nangyari yung...
Furthermore, Pineda said that the bodies of Baterbonia and Adili were found lifeless 5 meters from the shoreline, around 30 to 40 minutes after they were reported missing. The team was said to be walking in waist-deep water around 2:30 p.m. on June 8, which was reportedly part of their training, when a strong current suddenly swept away 4 members. Only 2 were able to return to shore, while Adili and Baterbonia were carried away by the current. However, the Philippine National Police assured the public that a thorough investigation will be conducted to determine any negligence behind the deaths of Baterbonia and Adili.
Should have negligence of anybody or yung liability po ng kasino partido ay ito po yung malalaman natin once the investigation has been completed. We assure you that we will be providing you regular updates on the progress of the investigation.
The ongoing investigation is being handled by the CIDG Major Crimes Investigation Unit. Kapatid Jazz Paredes, we are One News.
In related news, the Labor Department has issued a subpoena against Ateneo men's basketball team coach Tab Baldwin. DOLE Secretary Francis Tolentino wants Baldwin to present his alien employment permit and explain his work status on Monday morning, June 15. Tolentino stressed that all foreign nationals working in the country are subject to the same legal requirements regardless of their position or affiliation. For its part, the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group has submitted an immigration lookout bulletin order request to the Department of Justice. That's to prevent the possible exit of persons of interest linked to the deaths of Ateneo student athletes Rene Baterbonia and Divine Adili.
Sa mga atlet na kasama doon sa incident, I ask the kind indulgence to
participate with the ongoing investigation because we have to be enlightened doon sa ano to, yung mga activities nila.
Meantime, Ateneo de Manila University has placed Baldwin and team manager Christopher Quimpo on leave. University President Father Roberto Yap said the move aims to preserve the integrity, independence, and fairness of the inquiry as authorities investigate the incident. Baldwin has since been with the team, with the Blue Eagles since 2016. Samang basketball ng Pilipinas Chairman Emeritus Manny V. Pangilinan offered his condolences to the families of student athletes Rene Baterbonia and Divina Adili. In a post on X, Pangilinan joined calls for prayers and support for the bereaved families and the Ateneo community. He described the two young athletes as individuals full of promise who brought light to those around them. Pangilinan said Baterbonia and Adili will be remembered with respect and love. More stories coming your way when One Newsfeed returns. Stay tuned. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. The death toll from the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that struck Mindanao has risen to 47. The Office of Civil Defense reported 2 additional fatalities as of Thursday. Nearly 700 people were injured while at least 31 remain missing. More than 45,000 people have also been displaced. The OCD added that over 12,000 homes were damaged, including more than 2,000 that were totally destroyed. General Santos City and Sarangani have been placed under state of calamity. Now, some senators visited quake-hit areas to assess the damage and to turn over assistance. Joining us live from General Santos City is mobile journalist Ivan Tarinque. Ivan, sino-sino itong mga senator na to na bumisita at anong klaseng assistance ba yung kanilang ipaprovide?
Tama ka din, Denise. No? Kanina, bumisita dito sina Senator Win Gatchalian, Big Zubiri, JV Ernesto at Erwin Tulfo para nga mag-monitor, mag-assess at magbigay na rin ng assistance dito nga sa may Sarangani, pati na rin dito sa General Santos. No? Kanina naabutan natin sila dito sa may General Santos kung saan nagkaroon sila ng turnover nitong mga food packs. Ito yung mga bigas na ipinamigay nila dito sa LGU para naman maging tulong ito doon sa mga kapatid natin na naapektuhan ng lindol. Nagbigay rin sila ng cash assistance dito sa Gensan. Nagbigay sila dito sa Gensan ng nasa 1 million pesos at sa may Sarangani naman is nasa 1.5 million pesos. Ito daw ay galing sa kaninang sariling bulsa. No? Ito daw yung 1 month nilang sahod bilang mga senador. Pero according din sa mga senador kanina, hindi raw dito natitigil yung kanilang pagtulong at asahan daw dahil ang Senado bilang isang government side talagang handang tumulong para nga dito sa mga apektado at nananatiling mga apektado ng lindol dito. Denise?
Ivan, ilang pamilya approximately ang magbe-benefit from those donations or assistance rather na binigay ng mga senador?
Denise, currently kasi meron according sa General CDRRMO, no, nasa 6,724 families yung affected ngayon dito. No? Pero so far, itong mga tulong na ito, dediretso to doon sa mga kapatid natin. Meron tayong, the other day, may mga narinig tayo from DSWD, pati na rin na merong mga private companies, meron din mga organizations, mga NGOs na dumidirekta dito sa LGU ng Gensan para nga maghatid ng tulong. Pero kasi kanina Denise, no, nag-ikot-ikot tayo dito sa may Gensan at talagang kapansin-pansin talaga na marami pa ring residente yung nahihirapan at nanghihingi ng tulong, no, lalong-lalo na doon sa mga obstructed areas talaga, no, gaya nung nandito sa may barangay Lubang, no. According sa kanila, ang talagang kinakailangan nila ngayon talagang pagkain, pati na rin tubig, no, dahil yan daw yung parang scarce sa kanilang mga lugar ngayon. Denise?
Okay, ano daw ba yung mga dahilan kung bakit hindi umaabot sa kanila yung assistance, yung tulong?
Denise, according naman doon sa mga nakausap natin, no, may mga nag-ikot na rin naman daw from the LGU at mga NGOs doon sa kanilang lugar. No, kinuha yung kanilang listahan at ginawan sila ng profile. No, kasi bago ka, sa DSWD kasi Denise, bago ka bigyan ng tulong, gagawan muna yan ng profile ng mga social workers ng DSWD kung gaano sila ka-affected at kung kailangan ba talaga nila ng tulong. No, etong mga napuntahan natin kanina, Denise, talagang grabe yung kanilang mga bahay. No, technically, hindi na nga sila pumapasok sa loob ng kanilang mga bahay dahil talagang bumagsak yung kanilang yung kisame, lumubog nga raw yung buong pundasyon ng kanilang mga bahay at napuno rin ng tubig yung loob ng karamihan ng mga bahay dito dahil according sa kanila, merong malapit na water line dito sa yung water district sa kanilang mga bahay kaya naman nung gumalaw yung lupa sumirit din bigla yung tubig kaya so far sa mga oras na ito wala daw silang choice kung hindi matulog sa labas ng kanilang bahay at doon muna mag-camping. Denise.
Okay, Ivan, balikan ko yung reports yesterday where it was stated na may mga food packs na tinigil muna no, yung distribution nito dahil nga medyo kailangan atang ayusin muna yung sistema dahil dinudumog ng mga residente. Yan ba ay napamigay na ngayong araw na ito?
Denise, no, ang nangyari kahapon, naging rowdy kasi yung mga kapatid natin na kumukuha nitong mga food packs nga na binibigay ng DSWD. Kaya in the middle of pamimigay, sinarado muna yung mga container vans at hindi muna, tinigil muna yung pamimigay. Pero kanina nung binalikan natin itong place sa may Oval Plaza, nakita natin maraming nag-aantay, maraming mga kapatid natin nag-aantay, pero hindi sila nabibigyan muna ng mga food packs, no? Dahil ang target kasi muna ng DSWD magkaroon ng profile itong mga individuals na ito at saka sila bibigyan dahil itong profiling kasi Denise, no, kailangan na talaga ng mga social workers para ma-identify kung gaanong tulong or anong tulong yung pwedeng nilang ihatid doon sa mga residente. Pero so far, yan yung mga naging aksyon kanina at yung mga residente talaga ngayon talagang humihingi pa rin ng mga tulong lalo na doon sa mga nasiraan at mga distracted yung kanilang mga bahay. Denise.
At Ivan, do sa mga gustong tumulong, magpadala ng kanilang mga donasyon, how can they do that? Pwede ba nilang gawin yan? And is there a way for them to also feel secure na alam nila na talagang pumupunta sa tama yung kanilang ibibigay?
Tama ka dyan, Denise. No? Marami nagtatanong yan. Meron na, ang nangyayari, ang ginagawa ng ilang mga nagdo-donate, Denise, pumupunta muna, nakikipag-coordinate muna sila with the local government unit. No? Dahil kasi sigurado daw, pag nagkaroon ng distribution food packs gaya ng mga nangyayari during calamities, talagang dinudumog. No? Nakita na rin natin yan kanina, kahapon, rather, na pag may nakita or isa man na nakarinig or nakatunog na may namimigay ng distribution of food packs, talagang dumudumog yung mga tao. So ang ginagawa ng ilan, coordination with the LGU at yung LGU may makikipag-coordinate kung paano mga madidistribute itong mga food packs para kahit paano naman organize at hindi magkaroon ng sapawan na mangyayari. Denise.
Alright, thank you for that update. Again, that was mobile journalist Ivan Tarinque. In other news, Meralco customers will have to pay more for electricity this month. The power distributor says rates will go up by around 15 centavos per kilowatt hour this June. For a household consuming 200 kilowatt hours, that means an increase of nearly 30 pesos in the monthly bill. Meralco says the adjustment was driven by higher generation charges, although this was partly tempered by lower transmission charges. Now, Malacanang has dismissed reports of an alleged destabilization plot against President Bongbong Marcos. Palace Press Officer Claire Castro said the armed forces of the Philippines has not received any verified information about growing discontent within its ranks. Castro admitted there are rumors being monitored but stressed that military leadership has assured the government of its commitment to its constitutional mandate. The statement comes after Senator Panfilo Lacson raised concerns about alleged dissatisfaction among some members of the military. Meanwhile, the Philippine National Police has deployed nearly 90,000 personnel for Independence Day activities on June 12. The PNP has also placed all its units nationwide under alert status to ensure peaceful and orderly celebrations.
Ang sabi po mismo ng pamunuan ng AFP ay wala silang nakukuhang anumang detalye o impormasyon patungkol dito, pero syempre may ugong-ugong at ito naman din ay kanilang binabantayan. But as of now, ang miyembro po ng AFP ay nanatiling active, united at professional. At hindi po kinakailangan, according to AFP, ng loyalty check. Dahil alam po nila ang kanilang mandato para sa bayan at na naaayon sa konstitusyon.
The 18 ex-bagmen say that they are ready to formally submit their sworn statements to the Office of the Ombudsman. Attorney Levito Baligod arrived at the Ombudsman's office earlier today with Johnny Buduan, one of the 18 individuals who claim to have served as bagmen for former Congressman Zaldico. Baligod said all 18 are prepared to file individual affidavits detailing what they know about the alleged cash delivery scheme. He added that each of the 18 individuals has been invited by the Ombudsman for separate interviews as part of the ongoing investigation. The Ombudsman earlier confirmed that it had already started interviewing members of the group.
Each of the 18 will now share to the Ombudsman investigators everything that they know. Okay. Because in the joint affidavit, we just provided a glimpse just to warrant or trigger an investigation.
One Newsfeed will be back after this short break. You're still watching One Newsfeed. Welcome back. The New York Knicks are now just one win away from their first NBA championship in more than 5 decades. The Knicks stunned the San Antonio Spurs 107-106 in a Game 4 of the NBA Finals after staging a record 29-point comeback. OG Anunoby delivered a game-winning tip-in with just 1.2 seconds left to give New York a commanding 3-1 series lead. Jalen Brunson finished with 36 points while Anunoby added 33, including the biggest basket of the night. The 29-point rally is the largest comeback in the NBA Finals history, surpassing the previous record of 24 points set by Boston in 2008. Victor Wembanyama led the Spurs with 24 points and 13 rebounds, but San Antonio couldn't hold on despite building a massive early advantage. The Knicks now have 3 chances to capture their first NBA title since 1973, and Game 5 is set on Sunday. The all-important Game 5 of the PBA Season 50 Commissioner's Cup Finals is set for tomorrow night as TNT and Barangay Ginebra battle for the series lead. The Tropang 5G forced a best-of-3 showdown after beating the Gin Kings 106-98 in Game 4 last night at the Smart Araneta Coliseum. Jordan Heading caught fire with a team-high 29 points. Import Chris McCullough and Jason Castro also delivered big plays to help TNT even the series at 2 games apiece. The victory spoiled what was supposed to be a celebratory night for Ginebra, with RJ Abarrientos and Justin Brownlee receiving the Best Player of the Conference and Best Import awards, respectively. Now, with the finals reduced to a best-of-3, both teams head into Game 5 looking to move one step closer to the championship. Tip-off is at 7:30 p.m. at the Big Dome. In entertainment, K-pop supergroup BTS sold out tickets for their 2-day Arirang concert in Bulacan. Live Nation Philippines confirmed that all tickets were sold out during the Army membership presale on June 9, the Live Nation presale on June 10, and the general on sale on June 11. The concerts are set for March 13 and 14 next year at the Philippine Sports Stadium in Bulacan. The Philippines remains the final announced stop of BTS's world tour so far. And before we go, a 3-year-old girl in London is safe after a dramatic rescue that left onlookers holding their breath. The child was seen dangling from a window ledge above a busy street in East London for several minutes. Video shared online showed the girl clinging to the edge of the window as people gathered below. A police officer and a passerby quickly positioned themselves underneath the child as she struggled to hold on. Moments later, the girl lost her grip and fell but was safely caught by the two men. The toddler was not seriously hurt and was reported safe following the incident. The daring rescue has since gone viral, with many praising the quick actions of those who helped save the child.
Hello! Bravo! Well done! Good job!
And that wraps up One Newsfeed, the only feed you need. I'm Denise Tan. Good evening.